Good morning, everyone. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining us at Aspect Biosystems for this exciting announcement. I would like to start by acknowledging that we are gathered on the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. It's great to see so many familiar faces out there today, but for those of you who I have not met, my name is Sam Wadsworth. I'm Chief Scientific Officer and co-founder of Aspect Biosystems, and it is my honor to be the MC for today's event. We're joined by some very special guests this morning, including the Honourable Mélanie Joly, Minister of Industry and Minister responsible for Canada Economic Development for Quebec. We are also joined by the Honourable Hedy Fry, MP for Vancouver Centre, and by our very own Tamer Mohamed, founder and CEO of Aspect Biosystems. And last but not least, Fiona Dalton, President and CEO of Providence Health Care. So our team at Aspect is proud to be an integral part of Canada's rapidly advancing biotech sector. And we're here today because of a mutual understanding that growth of our sector requires strong partnerships, and we're grateful for the government and their willingness to invest in transformative projects. With that, I'd like to invite the Honourable Hedy Fry, MP for Vancouver Central, to speak.
Okay, great, thanks. Good morning, everyone. This is kind of like Old Home Week. St. Paul's Foundation, I have practiced medicine at St. Paul's Hospital for many years, very involved with St. Paul's and its future. And I remember when Aspect was a gleam in the eye of everyone here. It was just a dream, and now it's come to fruition. This is a long time in the making, but this is something I'm proud of because I'm going to introduce Mélanie Joly in a minute, but what I want to say is Vancouver is a home of remarkable bioscience. It really is a leading, cutting edge. Isn't it nice to have something on the West Coast that's doing well? I think we all feel that that's great. So I think it's important that I'm very proud. I'm not going to scoop the minister, but it's my pleasure to introduce Mélanie Joly, the Minister of ICED. And of course, you heard all the things, Quebec, economic development, etc. I have known Mélanie Joly for a long time. She is remarkable. When she first came in, I watched her being a Francophone woman who kind of English was beginning to grow. Now she's a fluent, bilingual human being. She speaks English beautifully. And she has moved from strength to strength to strength, getting more and more senior portfolios every single time. And I remember when she was Minister for Foreign Affairs, because I'm very interested in foreign affairs, and we worked closely together on a lot of things that were happening then. She was there at the difficult time. I remember when she was working with our neighbor to the south, Mr. Trump, to try and get a good deal for Canada. She was very much involved in that. And now, as Minister of Industry, she's leading our government in moving forward to build independent industries in this country that will make us leaders, and this is one of them, biosciences. So it's my pleasure to introduce the Honourable Mélanie Joly.
Thank you. Well, the bilingual human being here is happy to see you. Yes, I hope you're okay with my accent. I've been working on it, Hedy. It's a pleasure to be back in Vancouver. And also, this announcement is an important one, and it follows a really good conversation I had with Tamer, with Alan, I see he's here, also with Carl Hansen, with many of the key players in the biotech sector and life science here. And so, Kirima and I were just talking, the project that we will be announcing today for St. Paul's Hospitals, Providence, etc., has been in the making for 7 years. But hey, we're making it happen today. So it's a pleasure to be back, and I'm happy to be back with clear results based on the conversations we had back in November. And this is all about really making sure that we are supporting Vancouver in BC in their positioning of being a leader in innovation in the country. Not only on the West Coast, by the way, Hedy, more than that, in the country. Yeah, but you know, of course it's on the West Coast. So you see the relationship I have with Hedy. I've known her for a long time as well. So the goal is really to position Vancouver as an important center in the country, but as a global hub in life science. So it's a pleasure for me to announce today that the Government of Canada will be investing $125 million to create 1,000 new jobs here in Vancouver, 850 new student positions in life science. Woohoo! And now the francophone in me will repeat that in French. Donc, ça me fait plaisir d'annoncer aujourd'hui des bonnes nouvelles pour Vancouver, 1000 nouveaux emplois qui sont créés ici dans le domaine des sciences de la vie et également 850 emplois pour des jeunes, 850 stages pour des jeunes ici à Vancouver. So, concretely speaking, what does that mean? And Tamer will be able to talk about it a bit more, but let's talk about Aspect, and thank you also for the warm welcome. Thank you, everyone working here. So it's $79 million for Canada's first bioprinting facility for tissue therapeutics. And this is the frontier of science. It is for three-dimensional printed human tissue, and it will help diseases such as diabetes or liver-linked disease. And of course, it will be important for our defense sector. So it's really dual use, as of course we want to protect and help our strong men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces. It will create nearly 300 jobs here and also nearly 300 co-op positions for students, and it will maintain 117 jobs. So, a good round of applause for Aspect. Congratulations, Tamer and the team. And now, the second announcement, part of the overall announcement, is for Providence Health Care Society, $48 million for a new innovation hub at the expanded St. Paul's Hospital that is under construction right now. It's for to expand clinical trials, ensure cutting-edge technologies, and making sure that these cutting-edge technologies reach patients faster. So it will create nearly 800 new jobs and around 600 co-op positions for students, and of course it will support the 600 people already working at within the Providence Health Care Society. So congratulations as well. And this is all happening at a time where we're also in competition to be able to bring new great talent in the life science sector to Canada. There is an amazing opportunity because we believe in research and we believe in science, while other countries are turning their back on academic freedom. We will double down on supporting our scientists and our researchers. And we launched back in December our first global talent attraction strategy with 100 new research chairs, a budget of $1.7 billion over 12 years. This is we have actually one of the biggest, if not the biggest, budget in the world to attract these talents. At this point, good news, BC is really stepping up. Many universities across the province have raised their hands because they want to be able to have access to these research chairs. It will bring around 3,000 new researchers from the world to Canada, and actually, I must say, a lot of Canadians. We've said to these researchers, Canada will be your home. Please come and apply. We want to work with you. We want also to welcome you and your family and also your entire research lab. And what we've said also to Canadians abroad, well, it's time to come home. And I must say, we've received 2 weeks ago the first candidacies, the first submissions, and there's enormous amount of interest in our different programs. So UBC, SFU, University of Victoria, Northern BC, and Thompson have all applied. So looking forward to have more talent here in BC and to continue to eventually indeed work as we're creating even more different companies in biotech. Hedy was saying, I remember when Aspect was just an idea. Now it is a real company employing people and investing. Well, that's what we want to do, and that's why we're also trying to grab a part of the global talent that is looking for new places to establish themselves. Donc, on a de bonnes nouvelles aujourd'hui, bonnes nouvelles ici à Vancouver. Merci énormément d'être parmi nous. And our job and my job as the Minister of Industry is to continue to create good jobs, to build Canada strong, and it's starting right now, today, here in Vancouver. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Joly. It's so great to have the support of a federal government that believes in innovation and science, so thank you. Here to tell us more about Aspect Biosystems and how this funding will help us grow right here in BC is our founder and CEO, Tamer Mohamed. Tamer.
Thank you, Sam, and thanks to everybody here. It's so great to see so many members of our ecosystem under one roof and in one room, including our friends at Providence and, of course, our team at large at Aspect Biosystems. And a very special thanks to you, Minister Joly. You're absolutely right. It was only a few months ago where we were just talking about the opportunity, and that's the action that we see in this government and moving at lightning speed when we see an opportunity. And so really appreciate that deep level of partnership and your belief for what we're building here at Aspect Biosystems. Today clearly is a very exciting day for Vancouver, for Canada, for Aspect, for Providence, but it also builds on a very remarkable history. Over 100 years ago, here in Canada, insulin was discovered. One of the greatest medical breakthroughs of our time. And I think we can all agree how much of an impact that has had around the world for millions of people, where this used to be a disease that was a death sentence. That's what type 1 diabetes was before this discovery. It's had a tremendous impact, and it also played a foundational role in the creation of Novo Nordisk, a global healthcare giant headquartered in Denmark. So while the impact of the discovery of insulin from this Canadian innovation was profound, continues to be profound, as a passionate Canadian, it is not lost on me that much of the long-term value creation happened outside of Canada. And at its peak, Novo Nordisk became Europe's most valuable company with a market cap that surpassed Denmark's GDP. Now fast forward over 100 years later from that generational discovery, we left the University of British Columbia as a group of 4 co-founders and several of our employees, and a groundbreaking technology capable of 3D printing living human tissue. And with a powerful platform technology that we could apply in so many different areas, the first challenge was deciding on what we were going to focus on first, because there are so many areas that we can apply, and you mentioned several of them, Minister Joly. So my co-founder, Sam, and I did what we often did in those very early days. We left the comfort of our lab, took out the more presentable clothes and made ourselves look a lot nicer, jumped on a plane, and went to share some of our crazy ideas to people to see are they going to take us seriously or are they going to laugh us out of the room, which happened far more often than Sam and I would love to admit at those very early days. And it was at a biotech partnering conference in Toronto, the very same city where insulin was discovered, where we met an innovation scout from Novo Nordisk. And we talked about 3D printing pancreatic tissue. And so the idea was that instead of injecting patients on a daily basis with insulin to control their blood glucose, we would 3D print living human tissues, implant that into the body, and those tissues would sense glucose and release insulin when needed without any need for chronic immune suppression. Our goal was a bold goal, and that was quite simply to develop a functional cure for this very serious disease. Now that conversation turned into a very strong relationship, and in 2023, after a thoughtful process to choose our partner in diabetes, we aligned with Novo Nordisk on a very shared mission and formalized that relationship through one of the most significant partnerships of its kind. And earlier this year, we took a transformational step forward and entered an entirely new phase of our partnership with Novo Nordisk, integrating key stem cell and hypoimmune cell engineering technologies under Aspect's leadership. So it really feels, as a Canadian, that this is a full circle moment. Only this time, we are choosing a totally different trajectory, one that builds on our strong scientific heritage, but also couples that with the necessary ambition to build something that is truly enduring. And that's why I get so excited about this partnership and this announcement today. This $280 million project with a $79 million investment from the Government of Canada will strengthen our vertically integrated capabilities and our platform for the development and biomanufacturing of our bioengineered cellular medicines. Quite simply, we are building the capabilities to go the distance, because our goal is not to be in a baton race where we have to pass on the baton for somebody else to take it home. We want to own the finish line, and we want to deliver the profound health and economic benefits to Canadians and people around the world that we believe we're capable of delivering. Our mission at Aspect Biosystems is to pioneer an entirely new class of cellular medicines that could impact millions of patients around the world. We take this mission personal. It's serious. These aren't just patients that we don't know. These are patients that could be family members. They could be ourselves. We're in need of these therapies, and patients are waiting. And so I've been very outspoken about our mission, but I've also been very clear that it has to also come with building a $100 billion company, and we're focused on doing that right here in Canada. And it's not going to be a straight line. It's going to be very difficult, and it will require deep partnerships with our government, like the one we're announcing today. And it will also take a long-term view, where progress builds over time before it starts to look like an overnight success. We've come a long way since leaving UBC as a group of co-founders 10 years ago. And as they say, they often overestimate what you could accomplish in a year and underestimate what you could accomplish over a decade. And I would take that one step further and say I really believe it is that ambition, that deep level of belief that anything is possible, compounded year over year with a long-term view that could lead to extraordinary impact. So today, Aspect has built a real force, a global force, one that has an industry-leading platform technology that is pioneering an entirely new class of cellular medicines. We've raised over $500 million. We've partnered with global leaders like Novo Nordisk, and we've grown a team of more than 130 people that are some of the most brilliant people in our space that we've attracted from all around the world that believe in this strong mission. And that's the part that gets me so excited, is that beyond being some of the most smartest people, they are just people with a ton of heart and a very deep belief that anything is possible. And so to our team, thank you so much for all of your work that you do on a day in and day out basis. Now at Aspect, we often talk about the story that we're writing together. Today's announcement with the Government of Canada is helping to unlock the next chapter of our story and several chapters forward on our mission to develop these cutting-edge cellular medicines. And our goal is not only to do that, but to build something that's generational, to build a generational company that's anchored right here in Canada. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all of Vancouver and to Canada and to Aspect.
Amazing. Thanks, Tamer. Anything is possible, and it's possible from right here in BC. So I'd now like to hand over to the President and CEO of Providence Health Care, Fiona Dalton.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Minister, for this amazing investment into BC's life sciences and health sector. And as President and CEO of Providence Health Care, I just couldn't be more excited and positive about what we can do with this investment. This funding commitment sends such a strong signal that Canada is serious about building and strengthening an innovation economy, acknowledging that life sciences, biomedical, healthcare sectors hold such untapped potential to further boost our economy and to lead the world in accelerating the pipeline, the baton race from discovery science to changing patients' lives. And we know that life sciences is the fastest growing sector in BC, and so we need to keep on accelerating that growth. And that was our vision when Providence, in partnership with the BC Government, developed our vision for the Jim Pattison Medical Campus to build a new St Paul's Hospital, a clinical support and research centre that will be one of the most digitally connected health campuses in the country, and a catalyst for new discoveries, solutions and healing, an innovation hub in the heart of Vancouver. This is already one of the largest public healthcare capital investments in Canada, and we're so grateful and excited by the Government of Canada's support for this vision. And this $48 million investment to Providence will truly enable us to create an absolutely unique environment. Specifically, the creation of a comprehensive phase 1 to 3 clinical trials centre, a simulation centre, a health informatics data platform, all of which drive the vision for health and economic benefits for Canadians, accelerating breakthroughs for patients and supporting a thriving Canadian life sciences industry. So together, in Vancouver, we can create an innovation hub that will bring together researchers, specialists, organisational support, industry partners in a purpose-built environment, creating the conditions for collaboration, innovation and impact at a scale we can't quite yet do. It'll be an engine for discovery with a global reach, partnering with life sciences organisations to advance innovation, strengthen patient care and position British Columbia as a leader in the future of healthcare. Supporting economic growth by commercialising intellectual property and ensuring that innovations that are invented in Canada, like insulin, stay in Canada. And that bodes well for patients, residents and taxpayers. It's all of us. And we know that the health of the population has a direct impact on the health of our economy and vice versa. We saw that so strongly in COVID. And critical investments such as today's announcement are strengthening health security for Canadians. And that comes with economic security as well. So for more than 130 years, Providence and St Paul's Hospital have been pursuing bold ideas in a centuries-old building. We're really proud of our track record in cardiac, in HIV, in renal, in addictions and mental health, in seniors, in many other areas. But now we can't wait to show the world what we can do with this brand new campus and this visionary investment from the federal government. So thank you so much to Minister Joly, the federal government, the provincial government and all of our life sciences, research, private sector and public health partners for continuing to work together towards our shared goals of a healthy population and a healthy economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona, and congratulations to Providence Healthcare. So thank you to all of our speakers and to everyone who made it out here today. This concludes the formal speaking portion of our event, but please join us for the media Q&A and for the reception afterwards. With that, I'll turn it over to Gabriella from the Minister's Office to moderate questions from the media. Thanks.
Hi everyone, Gabrielle Landry, Press Secretary to the Minister Mélanie Joly. We'll be having a media availability. Please state your name and the media you're representing. We'll be having a little bit of time, but we don't have too much time, so we'll be wary of time. Thank you very much.
I'm ready.
Good morning,
Hi.
bonjour. Je vais poser ma question en français, si c'est possible de la répondre en français et en anglais, s'il vous plaît. Alors, le gouvernement est-il ouvert à suspendre les taxes fédérales sur l'essence jusqu'en 2027, comme le propose Pierre Poilievre ce matin?
OK, merci. C'est une question qui devrait être dirigée au ministre des Finances et au Premier ministre. Bien entendu, nous prenons acte de ce qui se passe au niveau des prix du pétrole à travers le monde, alors que, bien entendu, il y a une guerre au Moyen-Orient et nous prenons acte aussi de ce que le président Trump a mentionné hier et nous allons réagir en temps et lieu. Merci. So, of course, we're taking note of what the prices of oil and gas are in the world right now. We know it's hurting Canadians, and at the same time, we are very much aware that there's a war in the Middle East. We also take note of President Trump's speech last night, and the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister will be reacting to that shortly. I wanted to talk more about the announcement today, and I think it's important that the media cover this, and thank you for being here. There are two things that have been highlighted by Fiona and Tamer that we should bear in mind. First, we have the potential of creating great companies here if we have the right capital. And the issue in Canada for a long, long time has been that our companies are going south of the border because they have all the ideas, but they need to have access to capital. And so we have to change that trend. And we've been laser focused on making sure that we are able to provide the right capital through federal funding, but also through working with venture cap and different institutions here in the country. This is a call to action to Canadian business to invest in our entrepreneur and our researchers. And that is why we wanted to fast-track this announcement and fast-track the decision-making, because Tamer and Fiona need predictability. And why is that also super important? It is happening at a time where the US is changing its position on life science and pharma. And we have to be ready to be able to react accordingly. We need to be able to onshore many of the really important parts of our pharma needs, life sciences needs. We saw it during COVID. Accelera was fundamental in that context. But I must say, coming from another part of the country, what is going on here in BC is phenomenal. You have stem cell and Alan working for years on life-changing technology. We have Accelera, we have Aspect, we have Cardium. The amount of companies here that are being developed is actually fascinating. And so we want to keep companies in BC. We want to have more jobs in BC. And so you can count on me as an ally, because we will make sure that we work on this together.
Merci beaucoup. La question de suivi porte sur Stellantis. Je vais changer de sujet encore une fois. Comment réagissez-vous à la possibilité de voir un constructeur chinois assembler des véhicules électriques à l'usine inutilisée de Stellantis à Brampton? Et quel rôle le gouvernement joue en ce qui concerne les discussions avec les autorités chinoises? En français et en anglais.
OK. Je vais répondre en anglais, je vais répondre en français. So what is going on at Stellantis at Brampton is the fact that the company decided to end production. And in that sense, that was completely unacceptable. I've been clear with the company, and we will get our money back, unless they bring back production. And if they bring back production, it must be along with the union and the province supporting their plan. And there are 3 conditions to bring back conditions for the federal government on our side. First, labor standards. Conditions for workers need to be good, and actually the same they were, and even better, first. Second, it needs to support the local supply chain. We can't bring cars in a kit to Canada. Why? Because one of the big parts of our auto industry is actually linked to the fact that we have a big auto parts sector, 200,000 workers. And we have the 3 biggest companies in the world in auto parts, Linamar, Martin Ria, and Magna. And so we'll support these companies, we'll support these workers. And finally, the software needs to be secure. It is fundamental as we're dealing within North America with rules that are extremely important linked to CUSMA. So meanwhile, we'll continue with what we've done, which is 49,000 electric vehicles coming from China. We already have companies approaching us. That will continue, and we'll make sure that we abide by our agreement with China. But when it comes directly to what is going on at Brampton, the conditions are clear, and I'll be talking to the union later today. Donc, lorsqu'on parle de Stellantis à Brampton, ce qui est important de comprendre, c'est qu'on a eu des conversations avec la compagnie, on a eu des conversations avec les syndicats et on a eu des conversations aussi avec la province de l'Ontario. Et une chose est claire, le syndicat et la province de l'Ontario doivent s'entendre également avec la compagnie. 3 conditions. Premièrement, il faut que les standards pour les employés soient élevés. Et bien entendu qu'ils respectent les conventions collectives. Deuxièmement, il faut absolument que la chaîne d'approvisionnement locale soit respectée. Pourquoi? Parce qu'une grande partie du secteur automobile au Canada est composée de personnes qui travaillent pour les pièces automobiles, pas nécessairement l'assemblage, 200 000 personnes qui travaillent dans ce domaine-là. Et donc, par conséquent, c'est extrêmement important qu'on puisse protéger ces emplois-là. On ne va pas accepter juste des voitures qui arrivent en kit parce qu'on doit être capable d'avoir une localisation de notre production. Et finalement, 3e point, il faut que le logiciel soit sécuritaire. Et donc, dans ces circonstances-là, je vais avoir des conversations plus tard avec le syndicat et on va continuer à trouver des solutions. Mais une chose est claire, c'est que Stellantis a fermé, a arrêté la production à Brampton, contrairement à ses obligations envers le gouvernement canadien. Et s'il ne ramène pas la production à Brampton, à ce moment-là, on va avoir notre argent, on va être remboursé.
Hi, I'm Daisy Xiong. I'm a reporter with Business in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I have a question about the form of the funding. Is it a grant or investment? If it's federal investment, do you have a return target, and how do you track it?
So we will provide you all that detail. Because it's a form of loan and it's a form of non-repayable. But the business package, the support package is different for the 2 companies, and we'll provide you that, no problem.
Good morning, Darren Twist with Global News.
Yep.
A question from my colleagues in Ottawa.
Yep.
U.S. tariffs have been hammering Canada's auto sector for a year. Do you believe there will ever be 0 U.S. tariffs on Canadian autos?
Well, I believe that we can get to a good deal on CUSMA, and that's exactly why my colleague Dominique Leblanc is working on it and has been engaged with Representative Greer. That being said, we believe also, and we've been clear for a year, that these tariffs are unjustified, unjustifiable, and we'll fight against them. We are in this trade war for now a year. There's 25% tariffs against our auto sector. I'm in BC here, a big aluminum producing province. There's 50% tariffs against aluminum, 50% tariffs against steel. And we will continue to fight against all these unjustified tariffs. Meanwhile, what we're doing is we're acting. We're just not sitting idle, just thinking that things will just go away. There are many things we can't control in the world, and certainly we can't control what's going on in the White House. But what we can control is how we're building our Canadian economy and how we're fighting for workers. We presented an auto plan. This auto strategy is clear. We're doubling down on electrification, and meanwhile, we'll build the best cars in the world, for the world. We have the most productive plants. 77% of all our auto production at this point is Toyota and Honda. We will work with these Japanese companies, and we will double down to attract more investments, including from Germany, from Korea, and potentially China. But the goal is always to be able to protect our workers, our local supply chain, and the security of our data.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.